What's up, guys? It's Jay Lobos coming back to you on another episode, and I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys today about interest rates. Purchasing a property, obviously the rates are dropping, people want to buy homes, and I've heard a few times that people tell me, and obviously I have here Matt Barquette from Real Mortgage Solution to answer some of these questions, because sometimes people come at me and they're like, Justo, do I really need a 640 or a 660 to be able to buy a home? Or could I just really go ahead and go in there with a 580 or with the score that I currently have? And the answer is,
Yes.
absolutely, we can. But why would we want to go ahead and do that, right, guys? Because we know that the higher the score, the less of a risk, the better the rates. And with the better of the rates comes a better payment per month. Now, I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about this. And I know last conversation we had, Matt, and again, thank you so much for being part of the channel. I wanted to basically go into, is there a difference when it comes to buying a home with a 550 credit score or a 650 credit score?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, one thing it comes into a factor is the loan program that you can go with. Conventional, really, the minimum we can go down to is 620. FHA, we can go to 580 regular. I do have banks that can go to 500. But a lot of those, there's a lot of compensating factors that you have to meet as a borrower. You usually have to bring in 10% for an FHA loan.
Okay.
Conventional, we obviously can't go below 620.
Okay.
So that's a major factor. The one thing is, the biggest thing that came in the news is the major LLPA adjustments, so the loan level pricing adjustments that we're going to be seeing that the government just issued, which is 1.75 for people with lower scores. And obviously, if you got into the 700s, it's a hit towards the rate. Obviously, creating a little bit of controversy. But the one thing really to focus on is, this has to do with conventional loans specifically, not FHA.
Okay.
And the other big thing is, when it comes to qualifying for a conventional loan, even though maybe the rate, you might get a little bit benefit or a little bit of help even if you do have lower scores.
Okay.
It doesn't take into effect the mortgage insurance. So the mortgage insurance, it takes a look at what your credit score is and what your down payment is. So even though you might get a little bit of a benefit on the rate, you're not going to be paying as many points as you would be, maybe a couple months ago, you're still going to get smacked with the mortgage insurance. And I mean, it's a major difference from, let's say, someone with a 620 credit score. And if I am able to get the approval, because to be honest with you, conventional right now, even if you do have a 640, 660, there's definitely times I'm not able to get an approval, especially when it comes to cash out refinances. Purchases obviously are a different story, as well as rate and term refinances.
Nice.
But conventional has definitely gotten a lot more strict. So you may be able to qualify. I can say that I can do loans up to 620, but I have to get the approval in my system for me to be able to move forward. Now, obviously FHA is a different animal. That has nothing to do with the major changes. Definitely a lot more forgiving. But if you are looking for a conventional, there is a benefit right now that the government just gave for the rates. It's not going to make a major difference. But the biggest thing that, people, they may say, oh, well, if I have a lower score, I can get a better price, get a better pricing. Not the case. You might see a little bit of help with paying points, but the mortgage insurance is going to smack you.
So I would say one of the things, guys, and also take this into account, because a lot of the times, obviously, when we think about purchasing a property or purchasing a home, we don't only have to think about it from, maybe from a year standpoint, but we have to look at this from a longevity standpoint, right? What are one of the things that you want to do when you become a home buyer? Are you going to stay in this property? Are you thinking maybe in the future of maybe selling that property? What's the length of time? Because when it comes to interest rates, even though that it is tied to your monthly payment, but nevertheless, it only has to make sense. So I know that we were just talking about it, and you threw a few things out there when we talk about, conventional or FHA. I know that I've spoken about FHA in the past, where there's a lot of benefits, because that's like the Florida Housing Administration, right?
Yeah.
They give a lot of benefits when it comes to people when they want to for the first time that they want to purchase a property, right? So instead of you going out with a regular conventional and you having to drop, let's say, 10, 15, 20% down, going through an FHA aspect of it, you might not have to put that big of a down payment. But when considering to purchase a property, you got to think about how long you're going to live there. Because if you're not going to live there for 5 to 10 years, does it really matter so much, even when it comes to buying down the rate or putting a lot more money down because you want a lower rate? You have to do the numbers, and the numbers have to go ahead and add up. Another thing too that I was thinking, obviously, what would be, I would say, for anybody who's watching this, what would be an ideal score for them to achieve, or at least in a sense, not to, let's say as an example, because you might be able to get the best rate, but what would be a good score that people should try to achieve when purchasing a property?
I mean, I feel like 700s is always kind of what you should be shooting for. I mean, you could talk more about credit optimization and how to get higher, but 700s, you're pretty much in the top tier credit. The highest we go to, in regards to tiered pricing, is 740. But I pretty much 680, 700. 700 is probably what people want to shoot for. You say you have credits in the 700s.
Yeah.
There's usually, you're usually not going to have any issues when it comes to qualifying for a purchase. In regards for your stuff, credit cards or things like that. So 700 is what I would say is what you should be shooting for.
Absolutely. Guys, also take this into account. If you guys are looking for a free credit consultation, or if you want to go ahead and sit down with Matt Barquette, I'm going to go ahead and leave the description on this video a link so that you guys are able to go ahead and whatever questions you guys might have, whatever concerns, if maybe you are already in the process of looking to purchase a property, you haven't gotten pre-qualified, Matt Barquette could get that done for you same day. As you guys already know, he's also available on the weekends for you guys out there that work late, or maybe you have a 9 to 5. The men's available after hours, guys. This is one of the benefits of obviously having somebody like that in your corner, somebody who's going to give you accurate, who's able to go ahead and look for different advantages, look for different lenders, look for different banks, and get you guys the best rate possible. Guys, thank you so much for the love and support. And again, thank you so much, Matt, for being part of the channel. Until the next time, guys.